Hello, and thank you for joining me today in giving this award. My name is Sebastian Cardoso, and I have the credibility to present this award to former President John Fitzgerald Francis Kennedy, because I have conducted accurate and extensive research to understand the achievements, impacts, and life of the awardee. The award I will be presenting today is based on the former 35th President's natural ability to drive towards achievements. Incredibly, John F. Kennedy has been able to continuously get back on his feet whenever life seems to tackle him with challenges. The presenting award stands for Most Motivated American President. My reasons today for you to be interested in viewing this award ceremony are based on real-life events that allowed incredible ramifications to occur in the early 1960s. These events include persuading Soviet leaders to remove Soviet missiles from Cuban territory, establishing the Peace Corps, and supporting the Civil Rights Movement. I will discuss John F. Kennedy's childhood, young adulthood, and middle-aged life experiences. His ability to drive towards progress no matter the situations, considering he was in chronic pain a good majority of his life. Utilizing the natural charisma, John can be recognized as a humble and reasonable person. Since John was an infant, he was stricken with some kind of health issue. Before the age of 3, John was already contracted whooping cough, measles, chickenpox, and scarlet fever. According to medical doctor Stanford Schulman, during the first 30 years of the 20th century, these illnesses were perceived to kill, if not consistently being treated or prevented from spreading. Unconsciously, John's mind was already preparing him to be able to withstand immense amounts of stress, which challenged him to overcome obstacles, whether it was physical or mental. During his high school, John attended Choate boarding school for adolescent boys in Connecticut. John attended the school until he graduated in 1935. According to headmaster George St. John, in 1935, claimed that John was a clever individualist mindset, standing out from other students in certain activities such as holding a daily subscription to the New York Times. John had a particular interest in English and history courses, which may have been the reason as to how he got his start in his career. Before John graduated from Harvard University, he wrote a thesis that described how England was not prepared to go to war against Nazi Germany. Later, after he graduated, it was published into a book titled Why England Slept. On November 8, 1960, John was recognized as the second youngest president. When inaugurated, he was only 43 years old. During his inauguration, John gave a speech that has been recognized as one of the top presidential inauguration speeches. The most famous and memorable part of his speech was his call to action. And it so went. And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you, but ask what you can do for your country. And my fellow citizens of the world, ask not what America will do for you, but ask what together we can do for the freedom of man. During his presidency, John was able to establish the Peace Corps. This provided American citizens the opportunity to volunteer and give aid to those in underdeveloped nations. According to TotalHistory.com, John passed Order 1092-4. The program includes development in education, healthcare, farming, and construction. A massive number of volunteers joined the program, which served over 130 nations. In 1962, John meets in Vienna with Soviet leader Nikita Khrushchev in discussion of the issues that the Soviet missiles are being present in the Cuban soil. This was an issue due to the fact that the Soviet Union and the US were rivals at the time. This made every meeting tense, unknowing if the outcome was a safe agreement or a violent turn for war. Fortunately for Kennedy's intelligence and wit, he was able to persuade Nikita to remove Soviet missiles from Cuba. Personally, I think that John would have been a charismatic, humorous, and polite, intelligent, and genuine individual. Based on his achievements, such as peacefully negotiating the Soviet Union to remove missiles from Cuba, establishing the Peace Corps in 1961, and assisted the progress of the civil rights movements in the southern states. John's legacy can be recognized as the president who openly and willingly sought for change for the American people, and not just in the political sense, but in an all-round physical and mental sense. John encouraged the idea of people excelling their education and being aware of the world around them and being honest to his citizens. The qualifications for this award are based around an individual's ability to overcome physical and mental straining obstacles that would otherwise cause anyone else to break down and cease to continue towards progress. According to Chanel Kirkendall from uofmhealth.org, John coexisted with irritable bowel syndrome, allergies, and chronic back pains. Despite John exuding strength and vitality, his general health was low and symptoms of his back and gastrointestinal issues were almost incapacitating. Did he stop? Did he give up? Did he ever throw in the white flag? No. He strengthened himself, utilized the theory of mind over matter, and heightened his natural tolerance for pain over the years. He was not afraid to oppose those who suppressed freed people, and sought to take advantage of them. This award is the first of its kind to be given to a president. John's accomplishments since he was in his senior year in high school have been able to prepare him for the challenges that he encountered before and during his presidency. Simply because one part of the operation was not successful does not mean you cut your losses. There is always room for improvement, and in this case, improvements were still met. Now in my conclusion to this award, JFK was a person who could be recognized as average at a young age. Remarkably, he had high interest in these subjects that eventually directed his career into a position of power. Willingly and aware of the power he earned, he utilized it to remodel the nation. Uniquely, John made decisions that would benefit the American people in some dimension. Able to set aside his own personal chronic pains, led with motivation, integrity, and selflessness. Amazingly, he was able to right his wrongs when mistakes occurred in certain situations and capable to seek new solutions to attain progress. John was more than just a leader of a powerhouse nation. He was a genuine human being who understood his own backyard and the world around it. He believed in progress that would benefit the American people in a manner of fairness and development in human rights. Ladies and gentlemen, join me to award former President of the United States, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, with the most motivated American president.